Deal?
We can start.
Okay, thank you. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to this exciting session. I am Ashok Mittal. I am part of Wipro's corporate finance team. I joined as part of the first cohort program. And so the cohort program is as old as I am in Wipro. It's about 15 years old. Just last month, I completed my 15 years in Wipro. And so I will walk you through, some good things for your information for the next 30 minutes. And then we can use the remaining 30 minutes for any questions that we may have. So I will present my screen. Please let me know when you all can see it. Is my screen visible, Dale?
We can see Ashok.
Okay. So I will start going through the slides. Please let me know, if you can see the slides moving as well. So about us, we are 75 years old. Wipro was started as a very diversified company, and I will walk you through our journey in India and globally. But we leverage the power of technology. We have a very passionate global talent base. Across 66 countries, we are present in all continents. And if you can see this slide today, last quarter we reported revenues of $2.41 billion on a quarterly basis, as compared to our FY21 revenue of 8.13 billion. So we are in Q1 itself, we have got to 2.41. A very hypothetical extrapolation for the full year makes it a 10 billion number, right? So it's a really fast growing company. It's a really fast growing industry. 58% of our revenue comes from Americas, 30% from Europe, remaining from APMEA. APMEA stands for Asia, Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. We have more than 1,200 active clients and some of the world's biggest brands, whether it be bankers, whether it be consumer companies, whether it be technology companies, are Wipro's active clients. We have more than 200,000 employees globally. And like I was saying previously, we are present in 66 countries and across all continents. Our transformation, so this is Wipro's journey. In 1945, we were incorporated. So the operations date back even prior to 1945, but company incorporation was done there. And Wipro started as a vegetable oil company. Wipro stands for Western Indian Vegetable Products. And then in 1981, we entered into the IT industry. In 1990, we started getting into R&D and technology services. In 2000, we completed our listing on NYSE, which is New York Stock Exchange. 2010 onwards, we emerged as a large transformation leader across all the industry partners. We launched our Wipro Ventures. We started a lot of very exciting acquisitions. Very recently, we completed one of our largest acquisitions in the form of Capco. In 2017, we relaunched our brand identity and re-articulated the spirit of Wipro. And in 2020, which is last year, we completed 75 years of existence. With respect to our business mix, you can see our largest sector is BFSI, which is for most IT companies, and given the banking and financial services sectors use technology very heavily. So, that reflects the majority of the clients using technology, followed by consumer, and we are present in all sectors, whether it be energy, natural resources and utility, whether it be health, technology clients, communications, manufacturing. With respect to our services, 60% of our revenue comes from application related services, software development, software consultancy, cloud migrations, and around 40% revenue comes from iCore services, which are infrastructure services or operation services or risk and enterprise security. With respect to our revenue breakdown, we have, from a external segment perspective, split Wipro's reporting into 4 strategic market units. And you can see Americas, there are 2 units combined. They deliver about 58% of company's revenue, 30% from Europe, about 11.5%, 12% from APMEA. this is what we really focus on, and all the clients use technology to transform themselves. The key aspects of technology being used by clients are fourfold, right? One, the clients want technology to be intelligent. So it's not that just an application being created for a client or a browser being offered by the client which does tidbits. If the system is intelligent, it can create experience. If the system is intelligent, it can deliver outcomes. So it's not only about someone doing coding at some corner of the world, it has to deliver outcomes for the client. Speed is the new efficiency because the pace at which technology is changing itself is humongous. And if a client is not keeping pace with the market, they will get outdated so very quickly, they will not even realize. We have seen it in the market. So many of the companies have become defunct, just because they have not kept pace with the transformation speed. And there is a disruption because everything is now moving to have a system of trust. You can't have a system which can be hacked into by somebody, or you can't have a system where somebody can steal your data or get into your records and create impact. So systems have to be very secure, very reliable, and they have to be absolutely be able to prevent themselves against any attacks. And most importantly, talent is now everywhere. Earlier, we used to start with the concept of, engineering talent is very highly available in the Americas or Europe or India. Now we see talent available across the world, whether you go to Poland, whether you go to Romania, whether you go to Singapore, talent is available everywhere. So it's no longer following an on-site or offshore model. Now we follow the sun model wherever its morning talent is working. The imperatives for Wipro to be future ready are sixfold. We need to focus on an open innovation model, right, where everybody is willing to create a sense of innovation in what they do. It also cuts across a lot of startups that we work with, and also a lot of training that we impart to our employees. It's a connected intelligence, so one system must work very closely with the other system so that jointly the systems are functioning and deliver outcome to the client. Systems should be able to be trustworthy in the sense they should be able to fight off against any kind of a security threat, and they must also comply with the changing regulatory needs. So many times we see that one central banker somewhere had come out with the new rules, or uh, for example, in Europe, we saw that a lot of focus was there on data security, right? So how digital systems have to be enabled for them to become capable of worthy of trust. Next is digital, and this is a very important part of our journey. All the services that we perform can be seen as not very user friendly, right? So digital services ensure that a certain level of experience is delivered to the client. And it also means that the systems are scalable so that speed is not compromised when we really start scaling up the number of transactions. Intelligent automation is all about, doing more work or getting more outcome through systemic processes instead of necessarily deploying humans or manpower to perform activities. And cloud economy, while I came to it the last, it is actually the most important. Gone are the days where clients are setting up their own data centers, creating their own facilities. Right now, the economy is moving everything to pay-per-use, right? Which means people who have historically invested in data centers or physical assets are now moving away, getting onto a cloud economy, which is giving them better experience. It is giving them predictability of cost, and also it is helping customers get the satisfaction that they are spending money only to the extent they are using, and they do not have facilities which are going unused and idle. I think the implications to for the technology industry are the following. One, there is a relationship which is evolving. Earlier, we used to feel information technology services are only to be provided to the IT sections of clients. But now business is an equal buyer, right? Whether it is with the chief marketing officer or whether it be the chief sales officer, everybody needs a certain level of experience in how they set up their processes. And so the relationship of the buyer and supplier are changing and evolving a lot. The consumption models are changing from, people investing into their own organizations, creating asset heavy organizations or having very heavy balance sheets. And now things are moving to as a service model. So clients want to use what is their requirement, and also they pay only up to what is their requirement, right? The people profile is also now moving from generalist or specialists to very specific, talent. And this, we internally call it a T and X shaped talent, which is either it's a very top heavy or it's a very, very, all rounded, well rounded talent. The offerings are moving from traditional application support services or infrastructure maintenance services to a very, suite of integrated digital services. The delivery model, it is moving from, a waterfall based approach to prototyping or agile, or, learn fast, deliver fast, and also make failures fast. The earlier we fail, the earlier we realize the problems, the earlier we improve, right? So satisfaction comes there. And the core value proposition, it need not be only a cost arbitrage. Technology will give velocity arbitrage. Technology will give growth arbitrage. So those are the implications that we see playing out in the technology industry. Next, I'll talk about what is our vision. So our strategy is, number one, to be a trusted partner to our clients. If we build a good, trustworthy relationship, we deliver good services, the clients never leave us. I have seen it. So many clients, for more than 10 years, I'm in touch with some clients. They have said, we get so good service, we want to spend more money with Wipro all the time. We have to deliver industry leading value to our clients, right? Which means if the client is spending X amount of dollars with us, they must feel that that value is fully well realized. Our services must be sector focused. The services that we provide to a bank has to be domain centric with respect to their ability to make payments, their ability to do settlements, their ability to follow regulatory compliances. So it has to be very sector focused business solutions. And we can do that if we innovate continuously and if we use world class talent. And then our general purpose is beyond just winning, right? If you follow Wipro's corporate structure or Wipro's shareholding structure, 2/3 of all of earnings made by Wipro gets contributed to Mr. Premji's foundation, which is then generalized into, social and civic services for Indian citizens. So it is our unwavering commitment to the society, to the communities that we operate in, and to build a sustainable planet. We realize our vision through the strategy. Our strategy is to offer business transformation to the clients. Our strategy is to offer modernization services, to provide systems which are connected to each other as well as intelligent, and to create a system of trust. And this then gets enabled by our talent and delivery models, the IPs that we have developed or the platforms that we have created to provide services, and the open innovation system that we have created as an organization. I will lastly, use this time to walk you through our values or the spirit of Wipro. So these are few habits that we inculcate in each and every employee at Wipro, and these are really non-negotiable habits. I mean, you must observe these habits while demonstrating performance at Wipro, right? You might be a very good performer, but if you do not exhibit the right habits, you'll not be able to sustain it yourself at Wipro. So we have to be passionate about our client success. We have to treat each person with respect, right? And a lot of places you will see that seniors have their way of things and they will get to do what they want, and they might be impolite to junior colleagues, but it just does not work at Wipro. There is no sir culture. You can call everybody by their first name, and each employee is given their own respect. We are global and responsible, and we have unyielding integrity in everything we do. I personally love the last spirit the most, right? You will never find any incident or any colleague or any sort of a situation where if Wipro has to make a choice, the choice will always feel in your heart to be the right choice. So these are our values of Wipro. The habits which drive these values are being respectful to your colleagues, to your clients, to your suppliers, right? To your shareholders or to other stakeholders. It is being responsive to each other, right? Because if as a team of 200,000 employees, we are not responding each to each other well, it might become hard for somebody, right? So we have to be responsive. We have to be always communicating. We have to demonstrate stewardship, which means that if I am taking ownership for one particular unit of Wipro, I will still put Wipro first. I will not get driven by my personal goals. I will not get driven by achievement or performance of only my unit, but I will always put Wipro first. If Wipro wins, I win. If Wipro loses, and it doesn't matter what my unit has done, then I have lost. And building trust, right? Building trust is extremely important for all of us as individuals with our organization as well as our colleagues. We promote equality, right? So we have about 70% locals in markets outside India. This would mean, for example, in America, 70% of our employees are green card holders or American citizens. We have 136 nationalities that work for us. We have about 35% of women employees. And we have started unconscious bias training to make sure that a lot of our employees do not engage into any sort of a bias on an unconscious basis. And about 162,000 people have already completed this training. Beyond our organizational structure, we also are trying to work, with Mr. Premji's foundation on building a better world, right? And I spoke about overall companies, 2/3 of overall companies' profits get dedicated to building these features for India. And these go across various things. There is a social responsibility aspect where Mr. Premji's foundation works very closely with the government of India to impart quality education. 54,000 children have been reached out, through a first book partnership where we provide school curriculum to kids to study. It's also about community care in the case of disaster rehabilitation or in the case of pandemics. I know that we created a very large campus in Mumbai or Maharashtra and gave it to the local government as a COVID hospital when things were at a peak in India. We also advocate for public policy, by helping shape policies by working with government very closely and the NGOs and industry networks, and also the business responsibility, which is, across ecological sustainability or workplace sustainability or supplier sustainability, right? These are some of the distinctions that we have received. You can see we received silver class sustainability yearbook award from Standard and Poor. We received gold class in EcoVadis. We received, we are part of the member of WHO's Emerging Market Sustainability Index since its inception. It's more than 10 years now, and a couple more that you can see. The inclusion and diversity distinctions also are many, whether you see from large rating agencies like Bloomberg, or you see from ASSOCHAM, or you see from Human Rights Campaign. These are, very regular things. Once you join Wipro, you will find out. We'll go to the Wipro cohorts program. Dale, you want me to run through this as well?
Sure, Ashok, you can go ahead with the same. Yeah.
Okay. So we will run you through the cohorts program. About cohorts, it's a 2-year program. It provides you very good exposure because not only you do on-the-job learning, you also go through certain specific targeted trainings, right? And your curriculum will include, you will go through technical sessions. You will be given exposed to case studies where you will try to focus on, problem solving skills, which will help you improve, the context that you will use at work. And you will get good mentoring, when, like I said, I was part of the first cohort program, and our mentor at that point in time was Jatin. Jatin is now company CFO. And we used to get very good proximity with very senior finance leaders, right? Which helped us get a broader perspective about the organization. We learned what are the right practices to absorb in Wipro and how do we grow our own selves. The technical modules will include international finance, corporate finance, or taxation, technical accounting, what is the way of Wipro working, and also a lot of analytical programs. And as part of the rewards and recognition, the batch toppers of these curriculum, get to have get-togethers with the CXOs, and module toppers get to have a lunch with the CFO. I tried, I got only once, but it's a really good experience. The finance structure in Wipro is across multiple functions. It's usual, audit is there, taxation, controllership, treasury, FP&A, secretarial, business finance, and business support. And, these are the descriptions of each of these, maybe I will touch upon business finance because that might not be very usual, because business finance is like the CFOs to all the business units. Like our business is split into SMUs, which are the America, Europe, and APMEA units, as well as GBLs, which are the applications business and the infrastructure business. What you will learn here, you will learn, thorough understanding of corporate finance and how does it work in business. You will learn technical accounting and how it is applied for global businesses. You will get in-depth knowledge of, how IT industry works. And you will also see evolution through acquisitions or other corporate actions. I must, say at this point in time that I have interacted with a lot of audit partners, partners who come and audit Wipro. So we used to have KPMG as our statutory auditor for a long time, and then Deloitte. And it's so enriching to talk to those partners where they come and acknowledge that they have learned a lot of things because they have audited Wipro. Because the quality of transaction is so rich, it's also fairly complex that it becomes a challenge for them to apply theory to practice and see what is the best way to perform books closure. So those are very enriching things for every professional. These are few of the testimonials of our colleagues who have joined the cohort program. So this is Janvi, she is giving her views that it's a very well thought program where you have no opportunity to complain about monotony because things are moving fast. You have chance to self-develop yourself, and you could not have a better start in the working world. This is Kamla Priya. She acknowledges that cohorts program is the best opportunity for freshers as it considers us as students and emphasizes only on learning, not just the output, right? Because if you go through this program well for 2 years, it's a well-rounded program that makes you really ready for taking up more complicated assignments at Wipro. This is Keshav. He found the program very amazing, and he has said something which is very dear to me. You will make really cool friends. This program will usually have 30, 40, 50 people working in one batch, right? And so these will be your friends for life, whether you are, continue to work for Wipro or you pursue something else, but you will find newcomers working very cohesively in a group, learning together, working together, which will create bonds for life. This is Radhika. She joined as a fresh CA, and she was, she found good friends with diverse backgrounds, and yet they have a common platform to interact. It's a very nice thing. This is Raman. He found the cohort program extremely enriching and a holistic expert guidance, and he cherished the responsibilities and experiences that he gained. So this is what I had to cover for the presentation. I will stop sharing the screen, Del, and we can take questions from now.
So, Ashok, Anush, there's a lag of a few seconds between our session and the one which comes in YouTube. So we'll wait for some time to get the questions in chat.
Okay.
So there's a question, Ashok, that whether students can join this, CA students.
So I think certainly you can join, though, we offer the cohort program only for qualified chartered accountants. But, as a student also, you can pursue opportunities. We offer, not article, but industrial training as part of our repute. And also you can pursue those sort of things. And of course, to be part of cohort program, we only induct qualified chartered accountants into it.
So there's a question, Ashok, that someone is doing ACCA and can she join?
Anush or Daily, you want to take that question, please?
Who are joining ACCA and willing to join Wipro?
Yes,
So
for the cohort program.
okay, so for cohorts program, as of now, it is open only for chartered accountants, and for ACCA and MBAs per se, as of now, they are not within the ambit of cohorts program.
Cohorts is open to MBAs also.
Okay.
So
Yes. Yeah.
for the CAs and MBAs, but then we go to certain colleges which is listed in our organization. So we go to those colleges and we select people from MBA background.
Got it.
Meanwhile, Ashok, would you like to talk about the growth prospects of a cohort in Wipro?
Yeah, sure. So I am a cohort, right? I joined Wipro's first cohort program, and I can briefly walk through my journey. So I started as a cohort. That point in time, we used to do 3 rotations or 3 roles in a 2-year time, and I spent some time in corporate audit function, some time in controllership, some time in Wipro's APMEA. We used to call it Wipro Infotech that point in time as part of their business finance team. And after that, I continued spending some more time in India's business finance team. Thereafter, I was, given an opportunity to be CFO of Wipro's joint venture with Kawasaki. And that gave me very good exposure. I got an opportunity to visit Japan a lot of times. I worked with Japanese colleagues. My boss was a Japanese national. I even learned Japanese language sometimes to communicate with him. So that gave me my first global exposure. How do we work with cross-cultural colleagues? Thereafter, I moved into Wipro's global business. I was part of Wipro's BFSI team. And for the time I was I lived in the US for 3 years, working very closely with clients, during which I used to work on a lot of deals, a lot of M&As. I used to work very closely with sales team, supporting deal closures. Uh, and thereafter, when I returned to India, I headed Wipro's BFSI unit for 2 years. Right now, I am part of the Ideas GPL. So I take care of execution, business finance responsibility for Americas. And I also look at acquisitions. Like I said, Wipro completed its largest ever acquisition in previous quarter in the form of Capco. I got an opportunity to work on that. And now I will be really going to live in the UK for a few years. So as you can see, the career map gives you an exposure to different kind of things. You will get learning of technical accounting, you will get learning of business performance, you will get learning of a lot of business aspect, you will get to interact and learn global cultures, and depending on what role you perform, right, it could be very, very exciting.
Thanks, Ashok. So there's one question with related to the campus placement process. So what would be the hiring process in ICAI campus placement? Anush, would you like to take up this question?
Yeah. Maybe should I talk about Wipro specific or general ICAI?
Wipro specific.
Okay. So Wipro, we have two types of recruitment. One is pre-campus and the other is on-campus. So the hiring process remains the same in both. At first, you are required to undergo a test, after which you will be called for an interview. And in your test, you will be tested on your academics, which is your CA. Of course, you will not be given the Black-Scholes model to be solved again. So normal testing of your academics plus English skills plus some amount of quantitative and aptitude. So this will be the sum and substance of your written exam. Coming to your interview, again, you'll have it's general interview. Again, you'll have multiple rounds, maybe a couple of technical round and one with the HR. So this is common both for pre-campus interview as well as the interviews that we come on campus of ICI. So this maybe it holds good for any company for that matter.
Thanks, Anush. They're asking what will be the job location. So the job location will be Bangalore. Ashok, there's a commonly asked question whether we will work as a trainee or a full-time employee in this cohorts program. So would you like to take up this question?
Yeah, sure. So of course, you will work as a full-time employee as long as you're part of the cohort program. And like I said, we open the cohort program only for qualified chartered accountants, but you will be a full-time employee. We do follow a probation period of 12 months for colleagues who join as freshers. And this is a good opportunity for you also to reflect and learn the organization and the organization to learn about you. So you follow a 12-year probation period after, during which and after which you are a permanent employee. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Ashok. Next, would you like to take this question, Anush, whether your experience on the rotation process in cohorts program?
Once you join Wipro, you will be given one department which Ashok took you through. We have multiple gambits within finance, so you will be given one department to work under first, and after completion of 1 year, you will be mandatorily asked to rotate to another department. That said, at the end of 2 years, you will be well acquainted with two different functions of a multinational company. So after your first rotation, you will have some 2 years, or you'll be needed to work for 2 years or 3 years, and after that you'll be eligible for your second rotation. But your first rotation is mandatory. So Wipro encourages in you trying different roles, and that's how you'll be. But before that, I forgot. I'll have to congratulate each one of you to whoever have cracked the CA exam. You should be proud of yourself. Yeah, and thank over to you then.
There's one question asking, is there any bond requirement for this program?
Specific to cohort?
Cohort program.
Okay. So there is no bond per se that is required, but I'm assuring you that once you enter into cohort program, at least till the completion, you'll not have a temptation to leave Wipro.
So there's a question which is asked on the package. The package will be 9.7 lakhs, 75 lakhs per annum.
Yeah, but while that's a question answered, I would also like to give a perspective of the learning, right? Because and I have relived this journey on my own. Sometimes we get turned only on by a number, right? But when you are starting a career, you will think of how do you build a career, how do you have enough amount of learning, and so you must also see the amount of learning that you get, the amount of opportunities that you get. And Wipro being a very flat organization, right? The compensation is anyways very lucrative. It's like you have completed a studies and you're getting nearly 10 lakh rupees. So what more can one get? But it's a very good combination of learning as well as compensation.
Maybe Del, can I just add on to what Ashok has just told?
Sure.
Yeah. So just as Ashok was telling, you once you enter into Wipro, you'll be interacting on a daily basis with top leaders, or I would call them a finance behemoths. So now, for example, Ashok, all these people, I can name many, but as Ashok is in front of us, I'm sure you might join Wipro or not in the next 10 or 15 years. These are all the potential CFOs of any IT organization for that matter. So right from day one, you'll be interacting with them on a daily basis. If not with one leader, you'll be talking to multiple leaders. So what would happen? You will learn a lot, as Ashok said. And let me tell my own example. I topped two out of the three technical or the programs that in the cohort program. And as Ashok told, I was a part of a lunch session with the CFO two times. And subsequently, whenever we hopefully when I top the batch again, I'm hoping for a lunch with the next CXO, any other CXO. So for that matter, I was telling and the main and another important point is that there is absolutely no politics. As Ashok was telling, all the seniors will treat, even the I'm the lowest of guy, so they treat even me with equal respect. So even that's going to be the scenario even for each of you who are going to enter into Wipro. Yeah, over to you guys.
So there's one question asking, can we choose the preferred department, or is it randomly allocated? And will there be any preference taken while doing job rotation?
Ashok, I'll answer this. Yeah. So I'll just again give you my own example. So even I was hesitant when I was asked to take one particular department. I was given something called as investor relations, which I never heard about. So I was during my first or one week or 10 days, I was little baffled. But after 1 year, the amount of learning that the cross learning that I got about all IT sector, for that matter, and the expo and the limelight which it brought to me in. So that is something which I always cherish. So my suggestion will be: please do not think about which department you are going to get allocated. You please allow whatever department which our people will give you. It will definitely take you to wherever you will need to be there, right? And when it comes to the second rotation, obviously you'll be given a preferred choices. If there is any vacancy in that particular position, you will be allowed to transfer there.
To add to what Anush said, right, what we also try to consciously program ourselves to is to make sure that you are getting learning on various aspects of corporate finance. And during this process, we are also watching you, right? So we can see which of the roles you are able to perform with more flair, which of the roles you are finding more challenging, right? And then it also becomes a matter of a personal choice, right? Beyond a point, some individuals like to absolutely follow the aspects where they have a very natural flair and area of strength, right? Whereas other individuals also like to keep on trying even on things where they are not very strong. We encourage both, right? Because if you are, let's say, having very good strength in one area, you can become a really tall leader to manage that one complex area, right? But if you are able to navigate through different areas of corporate finance, you might become a more well-rounded candidate, right? So as an organization, both are important. And then we try to, of course, initially during the program, we try to identify where there is the best opportunity available. But as you climb your ladder in Wipro, as you move through the organization, we do keep an eye out, and then we try to mentor people and try to put them, as a rotation basis into their areas of strength and areas of learning, so that you are not only performing things that you might be loving to do, but you're also learning new things at Wipro.
And Ashok, there's one question on the number of attempts. So when we shortlist people, that is one criteria that we keep. So Anush, would you like to take up this question?
Yeah. So Wipro is generous enough to give 3 attempts for those whoever have qualified. So in case if you have given continuous attempts, you could have the last thing would have been May 2020. So this would be a third attempt. In case you would have missed or skipped an attempt, that would not be counted for the 3 attempts. So the net exams that you have given, that will be counted for the number of attempts, and it will be 3.
There's a question asked whether it's a direct recruiting process, whether
Direct.
Wipro will be directly recruiting the cohorts or is it through ICAI?
Yeah, as I said, Wipro. There are two. Wipro attends both pre-placement as well as campus recruitment. So in pre-placement, Wipro itself conducts exam, and Wipro will be recruiting you directly. In campus, Wipro coordinates with ICI and recruits you.
And this time we are having a post-campus recruitment of Wipro off-campus recruitment.
Oh,
We are not going to people before campus.
okay.
It will be after campus. Of growth in job after getting appointed.
Neil, can you please repeat the question?
What will be the trend of growth in job after getting appointed?
So I would say that, growth is good in Wipro, right? It is good both in terms of your learning. It is good both also in terms of how you progress with respect to your designation, and also, of course, monetarily, right? These are the three areas where you will want to grow wherever you work or whatever you do, right? So learning wise, like I said, the program is structured to make sure you are doing different types of activities, different type of learning. So that takes care of your learning. And then we also keep on assessing performance of all the individuals or colleagues who join Wipro. Depending on each individual's performance, we also award promotions. And then Wipro has an annual pay cycle, right, in which every year the salaries of employees get revised upwards, only upwards. Yeah. So, so there are three types of, this thing. And like I said, it's an organization where you can build your career, right? I have been here for 15 years. I have been able to, work for Wipro's India business. I have worked for Wipro's manufacturing business. Wipro is, like I said, not only an IT company. And I have seen Wipro's global business, right? I have lived in the US, and now I am working on my visa to go live in the UK, right? So growth is absolutely unparalleled, and it's a flat organization structure.
So there's a question again asked, how would we apply for this job?
Wipro will be sharing you the link where you can register for the test in your. It will be an online exam, right, Del?
Yes, we are coming to campus as well as post campus. In campus, we have already received we are coming to campuses such as Bangalore, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, and Kolkata. So we have already shortlisted the people who will be appearing for the online assessment in these centers, and it will be completely online. And in post campus, it's open to entire India, across India. So when we come for post campus program, we will be sharing the registration link. You just have to click on that link and apply for your cohorts program. There's a question asked, is there any opportunities of articleship in Wipro?
There is no so Wipro is not an audit firm, so there will not be any articleship in Wipro. So we can check and come back if there is any industrial training openings in Wipro. We can check that and come back there.
There's a question asked, FMCG sector is also included in this program.
FMCG. Okay, so FMCG is a part of a sister concern. So the hiring is happening for Wipro Limited, which is the IT sector, IT services part, which Ashok was explaining all along. So the hiring and the cohorts program is entirely for IT services. So we will not be anywhere related to either Wipro infrastructure or Wipro consumer.
Yeah, but both the organizations are, group organizations, right? While our corporate structure is created in a certain way, right? There are opportunities to move across both, right? And I am an example. I started my career with Wipro's IT business, and then I moved on to the manufacturing business, which is part of FMG business now. So while the corporate structures are separate, given an opportunity arises, we make that work for colleagues.
There's a question on off-campus hiring criteria.
As I said, you are required to undergo a written exam or an online exam, and that will contain questions on your CA academics plus English vocabulary and quantitative and aptitude. Once you have cracked that and you're selected for and selected, then you will be required to attend interview, and in interview you'll have multiple rounds ranging from technical to HR.
There's a question: is there any requirement of rank for applying to cohorts program? And one more question: uh, it can be applied only one passes the exam.
Yeah.
Whether it can be applied only one passes the exam.
Okay. So yes, to apply for the cohorts is the program is for chartered accountants in specific. So you only when you clear both the groups of your CA final, you'll be entitled to enter into the cohorts program. And the second question was on requirement of rank. So there is no requirement of rank per se when we are recruiting people from the campus or off campus.
Yeah, you also must add, there are only 30 or 50 ranks, right? But so many of us qualify. So please do not overburden yourself that you must secure a rank to land a job, right? I didn't secure a rank, and I'm not ashamed about it, right? If you have gone through the course, it's a tough course. Clearing CA is a good thing, right? So it's a good thing if you have a rank. It does entitle you to certain additional bonuses at Wipro when you join, uh, but it's not essential only to have a rank.
A question which is a repeated one: who is eligible for applying?
This campus per se, whoever have completed CA exams in their maximum 3 attempts, they are eligible to apply for both either campus, post campus, because campus is already decided. For post campus, whoever have cleared the CA in 3 attempts are eligible to apply.
And we are considering July 21 pass outs.
Yes, you are people who have qualified only in July 21. So who have written exam in either May or April and whose results have come in July, they will be considered for this recruitment process.
So July, the exams happened in July, and in September the results were out for
Yeah,
that batch.
my bad. Yeah.
So someone is asking whether we can send any email ID for whoever wants to apply offline. So we'll be sending a registration link across different social media. So you can click on that link and apply there. There's a question again asked whether attempts matter.
Yes, maximum of 3 attempts.
Both groups combined, right?
Yes, you can clear both the groups in 3 attempts. Maximum 3 attempts you can clear. Not necessarily you should clear both the groups in one single attempt. Though you are clearing one after the other, the maximum number of attempts will be counted as 3.
I think we are almost done with the questions. And thank you, Ashok. In that case, we can wind up. And thank you, Ashok, and thank you, Anush, for joining in for the session. And it was pleasure having you both for the session.
Glad to be here, Dil. Thank you, and all the best, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. All the best.